Hello. Hello, everyone. We are live. Let me take out this gum. That won't be
Mhm.
unprofessional.
Hey everybody, welcome to our live. We are back with another one.
Yes,
How are
we
you today,
are.
Genevieve?
I'm doing well. How are you? Because I think last weekend you had a cold. Last week?
Yeah, a couple of days ago, what, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
I still have a cold, but it's clearing up and I'm feeling much better. We are feeling much
Okay.
better. So thankful for that. Uh, yeah, it wasn't cute. Colds are never cute, but gotta keep pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, with all this weather changing and stuff, it definitely will play a toll on your body. Okay, well,
Definitely.
I'm happy that you are well. So, anyone out there, hello, you guys. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about toxic workplace. Because I don't know about
Ooh.
you, but when I used to work for people, I used to dread Sundays because Sundays used to mean that I would have to, hurry up and do what I got to do because I have to hurry up and make somebody else rich. Have
Mm-hmm.
to go into work and stuff and deal with, you know, all types of craziness at work. I don't know if you guys can hear in the background. I'm trying to, act like we're in a work environment where, you're always
Is that
hearing the
elevator
elevator music.
music?
Yes, the elevator music playing in the background. So just to
Oh my
kind of,
gosh.
you know,
Mm-mm.
yes. Yes, I'm trying to find different things because nobody likes, you know, having to go to work. Nobody likes losing their Sundays, and no one likes to, have to deal with a toxic work environment. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Oh
Toxic.
boy, that's the worst.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because I know experiencing a toxic workplace can definitely, influence people to do
Mm-hmm.
certain things that they wouldn't typically doing, i.e., me being on here talking to people, putting myself out here and stuff for me to, kind of spread my wings and not have to work for anyone. But at the same time, because I'm always promoting for people
Mm-hmm.
to, get a job, a federal job, do something, start a business and whatnot. So it's like, prior to doing all these things, your mind have to be mentally prepared for you to be able to tackle whatever it is that you're going to face in the workplace, because we all know if it's not something that you can control on your own, if it's not your own business, you're going to have, you know, a lot of issues with dealing with an employer, a toxic employer or toxic coworkers. So today I wanted to, you know, talk a little bit about it for people that are experiencing it, people that are starting their journey into working for the federal government or any, civilian or public jobs, that they are armed with some information trying to figure out, what they can do, how they can, tell some of the warning signs, what HR can do and what management can do to alleviate some of the stress that we face in the workplace. So,
Right.
Saret, I mean, I know your life has always been perfect. You've never had to deal with any toxicity or toxicity at work. So, tell me, how can you, what are some of the signs, what are some of the things that you've seen and stuff that other people have experienced because you've never experienced it?
First and foremost, you want me to be perfect, have a perfect answer, or do you want the real?
Girl, we trying to be real on this platform because we be talking about different topics and stuff. We need to be real. We can't sugarcoat stuff because when you at work and you dealing with this stuff, you know Ain't no sugarcoating it.
They want you to sugarcoat at work when things are not right, and the people from above in corporate ask, what's going on? How are things going? Why am I not seeing the same numbers that I've seen before? What are the changes? They don't want the real answer. They want you
No.
to fabricate. They want you to sugarcoat. They want them to look great and you to be like, oh, yeah, find some kind of answer because it's not their fault at all. So, yeah, my
It's
life
never
has
their fault.
not been perfect. My job life has not been perfect. There has
No.
been a whole bunch of toxicity, different places, but definitely you have to know how to deal with it. You have to know how to take it and not take it home with you or take it to heart. But at the end of the day, if it's too much for you and your soul and what you need as a person to survive and thrive and to bring to your family, then yeah, no, you got to get away from it. And I've done that before. So yeah, there have been instances.
I want to hear something, Sarah, because I know you. I know when stuff starts getting, out of control, your Brooklyn comes out and stuff. And, people probably like, oh, she's so sweet. She's so sweet. And then all of a sudden they're seeing how sweet and sour you can be at the same time. So
Oh
tell
my
me
God.
something, Saret.
I thought we were live.
Huh?
Telling my secrets. I said, I thought we were live. You telling all my secrets.
Yeah, we are live. Yeah, you know how many things I've disclosed on live and stuff.
Yeah,
And you know what?
definitely.
You shouldn't feel a certain way about disclosing it. This is my take on the things that I share on here and stuff. It's my experience and my experience alone. And no one can tell me that what I experienced wasn't true or wasn't real. So if I'm trying to find a place or find a way for me to heal myself, I mean, I'm speaking to, professionals and stuff to try to help me get through the day to day, the stresses of work, the stresses of past experiences and stuff. So it's like, if I come on here and I'm sharing something, kind of like, I wish somebody can tell me, no, I didn't experience it, because then I can provide examples and stuff, examples on what happened, on how it happened and stuff. And then now I, dare somebody to say, oh, well, it wasn't like that. But okay, again, my feelings, my experience, that's how I
Mm-hmm.
took it. So because I took it a
Definitely.
certain way, I'm trying to do things to heal. I'm trying to do things to help other people out there and stuff, because I already know. I know how the game is played. I was in HR. I used to sit there watching the employees and stuff. I used to feel really bad for the employees, especially if it's a toxic employer. And then vice versa, I would used to feel bad for, the employees who are experiencing what's up with this word? Toxicity
Attractive.
from
Yeah.
other, right? From other employees. What you said?
I say, yeah, toxic. We'll keep it that
Yeah,
way.
right? Toxic employees, and then watching how I'm advising management on what they should do to try to diminish, the situation and stuff. And it's either they were fearful of what they needed to do, or they didn't know what they needed to do. So, which is why I ask
Mm.
you.
Yeah, and that definitely explains like a situation that I've been through where upper management or the director of the facility of the company wasn't willing to come to terms that she is not doing exactly what needs to be done for the well-being of the patients or her staff, you know. And unfortunately, before coming to this environment, I've heard of these things, and for me, I'm always the person who goes to a job and puts all my 100% into what I'm doing, even if it's making sure that my coworker next door, is good, is not being bombarded or getting toxic energy, from upper management. And that's what it was. And with me, it was telling me about this other employee or these other staff members, talking about them, but then you're the one that's doing wrong. So it's like you want me on your side because you want somebody on your side while you're doing wrong to others. And no, I don't stand for that. For me, right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm always going to be able to vocalize how I feel. And sometimes it can come off a little harsh, but I don't mean to. Or it can, because I ask questions, the person was offended or said, hey, this is my position and I make these decisions. And because I'm in management role as well, we need to figure it out. We need to figure out other options or avenues to make this work. Because at the end of the day, you're getting on email and I'm on that email, where corporate is asking us what's going on, how we can change things, how we can improve things. And I can't, not fabricate, but I can say not so much great things for so long. So I have to be able to tell the truth and speak to what's going on. So we have to be on the same page. And sometimes it doesn't happen. And sometimes people are not willing to change, or they've been in that environment or position for so long that they're complacent. Like they don't know what to do to make the change anymore. And they have to be removed. And at the end, we both were probably removed, but I made sure that, for the next staff members or clients, they're going to have better outcomes. So I always try to leave an
So
impact.
you were a martyr.
I always try to leave an impact. And, I want to be able to make make wrong right. So, yeah, it can be tough.
Yeah, no, I
But
completely understand because I know wait, we have a question before I start mine. Hello, Jerome Hurd from LinkedIn. He says, good afternoon, ladies. I know a lack of value from employers has a lot to do with this. Oh, yes, definitely. I
mhm,
completely agree.
yes,
100 million%. Yes, I absolutely agree. Now, I have two different scenarios, different incidents that happened to me where one, it was the employee, and then the other one was the employer. So now, in one of the job that I held, I don't want to, disclose the name of the
I know,
job
right?
and stuff, and because they're probably on my LinkedIn, and they, and a lot of them probably know who I am. And when I first started the job, they mentioned to me that there was an employee, one individual employee that would, make it terrible for everyone at the workplace. And then I used to be like, what do you mean? Like one
Right,
person? Like, how
right.
can one person be so influential in a negative way? And what happened, what happened to that individual for them to become that way, and what have you done to correct that behavior? And so, of course, I don't know if that individual was always that way. And so the new management team that I was working with, when they shared that with me out, and then of course they couldn't give me a logical explanation as to why this individual was the way they were. And so they wanted to do a all hands team meeting. So in the meeting, they wanted to introduce me, HR, because I was the only HR representative there. And so they wanted to introduce me to everyone. And soon as we started the meeting, I introduced myself to everyone. And then I was looking around the room because I'm an observer. I'm always looking at my situation, trying to understand where the problem is it management, or is it the employees, or lack thereof, as far as management or leadership, type of atmosphere where the employees feel safe, where they can, produce and feel like they are valued, like Jerome said. And so in the meeting, I was sitting there, and the employee I already knew who they were talking about. Because as soon as, I introduced myself, I was looking around the room and, this employee had their face all screwed up. Like, and I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to keep my poker face because I don't want to feel like I have an attitude myself and stuff. And the environment that I was working in, it was a bit different because the racial diversity was not, it was scarce in that environment. And so the individual that had their face all screwed up was
Wait, how was her
my
face? Wait, how was
yes.
her face?
Really? Yeah,
I
just like
mean,
sitting
okay.
there like, oh my
Wow.
goodness, like it was a female. I was like, dude, like, my goodness, we're the same. And and you seeing somebody like you, because anytime I'm working in an environment, I always like to see who I can kind of relate to
Right.
professionally, relate to, career wise,
Mm-hmm.
educational background, diversity, background, culture, whatever,
Culture. Oh, yeah.
sex, gender, whatnot. And so soon as I, saw this individual, I was like, okay, it's not just me, because it was me and then this other individual and stuff. So I'm like, okay, it's not just us. But then I'm like, dang, like, for real, like, you giving us a bad name already. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there introducing myself, and then they went around the room to introduce themselves. And then this individual, and I'm like, what in the world? So she just sitting back. And then I'm like, okay. So I just sat and watched, and then, the leadership personnel that was there, she looked at me, she was kind of, signaling to me who it is
Mm-hmm.
that
So
she
that
was
was her.
referring to. Yeah. And then
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh gosh, of all the individuals, it has to be. So I'm like, oh Lord, okay, what am I gonna do now? So now we finished the meeting, and then I go into my office, everybody dispersed, everybody go to their office. This individual come in my office and was like, I'm sure they told you about me. I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean they told me about you? Who? No, I mean, no, because you didn't introduce yourself. So I can't really say, you know, um, who they were, if they said anything. Nobody said anything to me. They
Mm-hmm.
were introducing me. So I was getting to meet everyone because I don't know anyone. And I don't have any biases. I don't come in with any biases. I'm, trying to understand everything, the bigger picture of what's going on and stuff. And I'm here to do a job. And then she was like, yeah, I'm sure they were talking about me. They told you about me. And I'm like, okay, what were they supposed to tell me about you? Because evidently they forgot to tell me. And so they was like, yeah, they must have told you that I'm a problem and this and that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so if they told me that you're a problem, so you say, but you're the one that's telling me right now by you just
Mm-hmm.
coming, into my office and stuff. You don't know me from nowhere. You don't know, what my values are. And then you're coming to tell me that they probably told you about me and stuff, and, and that you're a problem and stuff. And I was like, okay, so are you a problem? And
Right. You
then she
must be
was like,
aware that
I
you're a
mean,
problem.
exactly. I'm like, so she's like, no, I ain't a problem, but I just don't, I don't take stuff from people and this and that. I'm like, hold up, where are we? Like, we're in a professional environment. You're gonna tell me you don't take stuff from people. What is it that people are giving you that you don't like? Like, is it work that they're giving you that you don't like? And stuff. And he was like, no, it's not that simple. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I just don't like noise. I'm a veteran and stuff. And, with all the noise, it kind of, influenced me a little bit. Can you, if you're talking to me, can you kind of, bring it down a little bit? Because you
Turn
a
it
little
down a
bit
little
hyper. And so they was like, well, it seems like you and I, we're going to be best friends. I was like, why do you say that? Well, because I'm going to be in your office, because the last people that was here, the last HR, I was in their office every single day and stuff. So, you're going to hear a lot from me. And I'm like, look,
bit. And that's supposed to be something good
you said what?
with that. That's supposed to be something good. Like you guys gonna be best friends because people are reporting me for
Exactly.
my attitude, apparently, the way I'm
Exactly.
acting.
So yeah, so I'm like, huh? I'm like, you gonna be in this office a lot? I was like, why? He was like, yeah, because they knew me. I was here every single day and stuff because there's a lot of problems here and this, that. And I'm like, look, first off, I'm the only one here. Ain't nobody got time for you to be coming in my office every single. So it's like, I don't know, something just came out of. And I'm like, oh my, it's afterwards I realized, what I was doing. So I was like, I'm the only one here. So you think you're gonna be coming in and out my office and stuff? What? Interrupting me from work? Like, okay, so if they
Right.
assign you a task, you need to perform the task that they assign you. Now, if you're complaining about the task that they assign you, what? Because you don't like it? Like, okay, so if you don't like it, then guess what? And so this individual was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, that's not what I'm saying. You just don't know. You just don't know. It seemed like they must have told you. I'm like, no, nobody told me anything, but you're the one that's coming to tell me and stuff. And then
Right.
it seems like you trying to let me know that you're going to be a problem for me and that, I'm not going to be able to get any work done. So me not being able to get any work done is going to influence my performance. And guess what? That's not going to
That's
happen.
not gonna
And I was
happen.
like, okay, so if you have a problem, yes, you can come to me and we can address it and I can see, what I can do to assist you. However, if a task is being assigned to you and you're complaining about the task, then do you really want to work? Because if you don't want to work and stuff, then I can make some recommendations and have them help you to get you out. And then, and then she's like, well, it seems like, you're already taking sides. I'm like, no, I'm not taking sides, but I just want to let you know that I'm HR and I have a lot of background in HR and I have a lot of background dealing with employees that do not like to perform either because they don't know what they're doing or because they have a behavior problem. And it seems like that might be something that you need to address. And so this individual was like, oh, okay. So she completely understood from day on, the first day that, she ain't gonna be coming into my office, starting stuff,
Mhm.
complaining about nonsense for no reason. And so I was like, wow. So ever since then, this individual was my friend and stuff. And I came to work. I didn't come to
Mhm.
make friends. I came to get my money and stuff so I can go
Right.
home and stuff and then, forget about this place until I have to, go back to work. And so this individual, was cool. But then this individual had issues with other people. And I already
Mhm.
knew that their issues with other people would have influenced, the workplace. And again, I didn't ask anybody anything. I just sat and, waited. And so one of the employee that she had an issue with, soon as I came in, I didn't even put my bags down. And then, and he was like, okay, I just got to tell you something. There was an incident that happened and this and that. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what incident could happen? Like, yo, y'all see this environment? Like, this type of environment, you wouldn't expect issues like that because of how elevated the environment was. And so I'm like, dang, like, drama comes wherever you are. It doesn't matter,
Mhm.
if it's a fancy place or if it's, a place with status and whatnot. And so the individual told me what this individual did. And now I'm like, oh, wow. So I had to go to my supervisor and then, mention to her that there was an incident. And then I needed to get the stories, the facts straight. So then I went and asked the individual. And the individual just went off and stuff and was like, well, I already know what you're here for. I'm like, what am I here for? Yeah, because I know you coming here and stuff because I already know who you are. And I'm like, hold up. I'm like, yo, you on attack mode for everyone. I'm like, first of all, I ain't got time for this. I just came in and stuff, and I heard there was an incident. So I'm trying to make sure that everybody is cool, that that we're not gonna try to elevate this. So please, can you share your side of the story? So they told me their side, and then I'm listening to the other person's side afterwards. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was just a misunderstanding. So this individual, I guess because I made light of the situation, they got upset because, I didn't side with them because I guess, I'm supposed to side with them. But I'm like,
Mm,
no, I side with right. I don't
right.
care what you are, who you are, and stuff. And from day one, we spoke about it. I told you what I do, how I do my work and stuff. So now this is what's gonna happen. So took her incident report, and then afterwards, she wanted to speak to all these big rigs. And I'm like, okay, first off, they already don't like you. I hope they're not listening or she's not listening. They already don't like you. So what
Ah,
you gonna say to them and
too
stuff?
late now.
Because they just gonna come back to me. So she was like, well, I didn't tell her. And then she waited, and then she was like, you know what? I can see nobody likes me. I can see how this environment is. So I told her, okay, how about we start over? It seems like it was, a misunderstanding. Let's move on. Let's get your work done. Were you hurt? You weren't hurt. And, and if you were hurt and stuff, because I guess it was a bag that they brushed on them. I was like, if you were hurt, do you want to go to the
So
doctor? Do
was
you
it
want to go to the hospital? Do
intentional?
you want to get checked out? And then they were like, well, I already have issues. I already this. And because I saw them coming, I jumped back and then I almost hurt myself. So I'm like, okay, well, that was your fault. They didn't push you. And so, end of the story, we were able to work out something where I told them, okay, well, you know what? When you see this individual, take another elevator. Don't get into the same elevator. And I'm looking like, this is something minor. Like, why
Right.
are we dealing with this stuff for something minor like this? And another scenario where with that same management team, now I guess when employees, I'm HR. So anytime employees come into my office, they want to talk. They kind of want some type of privacy. They want to make sure that the information that they're sharing is not getting out, and then if it is getting out, because I have to report it and stuff, there's a certain way that I will report it and stuff, and it's not gonna be in a gossipy way, or you heard what this person said, guess what, and this and that. So now I guess my management team, one of them, I don't know what was their issue, but when someone comes into my office, I would tell them to close the door and stuff so they can talk to me. But then all other times, my door would be open. If it's not wide open, it's open, cracked and whatnot. And plus, it's HR. You have everybody's personal information in there. I'm on the phone talking about, different things that's going on in the
Job.
job. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have the door, ajar.
Right.
So I guess that individual, and then I'm on lunch, eat lunch. I always do a working lunch. And so we're gonna talk about some stuff. I always do working lunch. And so, and anytime somebody need me, they just come in and I'm, working while I'm eating and stuff, and then hurry up, do what I gotta do and stuff. So pretty much my door is never, ever, ever closed. If it's closed, it's because I went outside the office and I didn't want anyone else to come in. But if anyone else had permission to go in there, i.e. my management team, they can easily go in there because they have the keys and stuff to everything. So one day my immediate supervisor, it was a female, she made a joke and she was like, man, your door is always closed. I'm like,
Hmm.
which door is always closed? I'm like, how did you get in? Did you have to use your keys? Did I have to
They
get
don't
up and
want
open the
somebody's door to be
elevator?
closed. You can
Exactly.
never take a little break.
And I'm like, hold up, what do you mean my door is always closed? I'm like, and now I'm starting to think like, yo, when did I leave this door closed and stuff where I wasn't supposed to leave the door closed? So since then, what I did to fix that situation, if I'm in a meeting with someone, so now I created a little sign to put on the door. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to someone, I put a sign on the door that I'm
Yeah.
busy with the employee, and once I please knock, and if I'm not too busy with the employee, then I will let you in, or please come back and so forth. And if I'm stepping out of my office to go to the bathroom or to go downstairs and talk to another employee, I would also put a sign that I went downstairs or I stepped out from my office. And
Mm-hmm.
so the supervisor saw that and she was like, bro, you always got a sign. I'm like, yeah, because I want to make sure that it seems like you want to track everywhere I go.
Right. Your door's always closed, and now you always have a sign.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was like, yo, there's no winning.
She
So,
always has a
long
problem.
story short, huh?
Because she always has a problem.
Exactly. Exactly. So now I started putting two and two together like, hold up. Yes, this individual was a problem, that employee that was the problem and stuff, but it seems like their problem stems from something that the management team had done. Because if I'm HR, you see me every single day. Now I used to, drive to work like maybe 2+ hours. So that means if I'm doing this every single day, never late and stuff. So it's like I love what I do. I love my job, which is why I'm making the commitment to travel back and forth and stuff. And for you, to have that little whatever, which was unjustified, because I can't even recall a day that my door was closed and stuff. So I did what I needed to do and stuff to justify or correct that behavior, but it still kept bothering me because I couldn't understand where it was coming from. And come to find out, it was another individual that said it to them. But I'm like, this individual is always in my office, even when I'm eating, when I should be having my door closed and stuff, just so I can say I'm on my break. So, I ended up leaving that job. And when I left them and stuff, the way when I came in, they didn't have anyone. So when I left, but I gave them ample notice prior to me leaving and stuff, because I was also pregnant and stuff, and and the drive was too much, and so prior to me leaving, I gave them enough ample time, and then I even helped them bring someone back on, right before I left. But I guess they were unhappy because I was supposed to train that individual. Now the individual that they brought on, that individual, I don't think they were strong enough to be able to hold down the office themselves. But of course, they didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to HR and stuff. So who knows what happened? And I'm pretty sure that individual is still there because, when I try to resolve other situations with that individual knew, I can get the job done. Like if it was,
Right.
for me, if I had a vendetta against that individual and stuff, which, I would never do, have to stay professional at all times and stuff. I knew what needed to be done to make sure that I am able to correct the behavior to help support management, because management themselves, they weren't strong enough to handle that individual. And so, so what I want to say is like there are certain signs that individuals that we have to look at and stuff when you come into a workplace, when you start a job, you have to identify some of the toxic, things that are occurring. And once you see it, definitely raise your awareness as to
Antennas.
what some of the issues are. Mhm.
Yeah, I say, yeah, raise them antennas, like be at a alert.
Yes. Raise your antennas so you can see what your next move is going to be on how you can counter attack whatever attacks are coming to you. So now, I did some research to try to understand, some of the things that people need to look out for when they're facing or dealing with toxic work environments. So, high turnovers. High
Yeah.
turnovers is definitely a sure tell sign that an office is, has is very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Negative atmosphere. Again, I had all these triggers, like how we speak about in relationships and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Know your triggers, know the warning signs and stuff. I had all of them, but then I still stayed because I figure, okay, I can, change the situation. I can add value, I can help, I can
Mm-hmm.
assist and stuff, do what I need to do to eliminate or diminish the toxic work environment, or the effects of the toxicity. Lack of transparency, micromanagement. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Lack of transparency. So, an experience. We would have morning meetings with all the management team, so we can talk about everything that happened the prior day, and everything that we need to discuss to make things different or things that's coming up. We couldn't really talk about anything because we had to parking lot it, or we had to speak to the director directly about it. And I'm the newest person there, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this person said this because oh yeah, we'll talk about it later. And I said, well, the department head right there is that's her department. Let's talk about it and see what changes. No, it's okay. I'll talk to her later. We'll tabletop it, whatever. And I'm just like, no conversations can have out loud. And I'm the one that's like hearing the concerns, hearing the issues, because my first door is the first office, and everybody that comes to this building knows me because I bring them in. So it's like, how do we resolve these things if we're putting everything to the parking lot and putting them,
And that
we'll
parking
have
lot gonna be
fine
full.
discussion when we have these meetings for this reason. So it's like the transparency, there's definitely an issue. There's no transparency, that's a problem.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. So
Mhm.
I listed some of them. So I'll try not to read every single one of them since I listed them. So guys, I provided some of the warning signs. So read them, if you're catching the replay and stuff, so you can know what warning signs you need to look out for, and then for you to prepare yourself. Poor communication, that sounded like something that you experienced. Because like I was
Yes.
saying when you was talking, that parking lot must be full because it seems like they were putting
Oh,
everything in
and
that
she
parking
took
lot.
the parking lot with her, I bet.
Dang, wow. Wow. Excessive workload,
Yeah.
discrimination
Hmm.
and harassment,
Yes.
inconsistent leadership. Now it
And
seems like
sometimes when you look at discrimination and harassment, um, people can play victim too. When you say
yes.
something about it, when you try
Yeah.
to uncover it, when you try to bring it to life, it says, "Oh no, not me! I didn't say this. This is not what I meant. I would never. I see no color." So it's like those things are fine line, but they are there.
Yep. 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 And sometimes, it may appear that there's a reason why it's there. However, if someone else is coming into the organization and, and now it's like, because the issue that I have with managers who discriminate because of, skin complexion or color, or, let's say it, you know the problem that I have with in these individuals is that you can't put all Black people in the same, pot of being a problem. Now, that individual that I spoke about, yes, she just so happened to be, you know, African American. But however, I'm African American and stuff, Haitian
Right.
American, however, they want to categorize me.
Hmm.
But I am not coming into the job and stuff for me to, be a problem, because I have my head on straight. I know what I want. I
Right.
know what I came to work for. It's like
Yes.
sometimes I'm when employees start acting up, I be thinking like, okay, you want a job first of all to pay your bills. Concentrate on doing that as opposed to trying to start stuff. Go to work. Like, if you want drama and stuff, go do it elsewhere. You come in here to make money. Now, if it's on social media, you want to post stuff and discussing drama and stuff, okay, that's the place for it because everybody knows that's your topic, or
Right.
that's the setting and stuff. But if it's in a workplace environment, keep your drama away and stuff so other people can concentrate on what they need to do. So
Hmm.
now management on their end of trying to deal with the problem, don't bottle up or don't put everyone in the same category, because you have people who have different walks of life, who have different experiences, who have different responsibilities, who have different expertise that knows right from wrong and stuff. So just because someone, is doing something, don't put everybody in the same pot and stuff, and stop mixing them up and stuff to make everyone feel like, like, dang, no matter what I do, if I'm, a good employee, you still gonna see me a certain way because of my skin
Right.
complexion.
Right.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So let me see. Let me go. You have anything else to add?
You were going down a list, and I was gonna piggyback off things that
Oh, okay.
rung a bell to me.
Resistance to change.
Major, major, major. Change is not always easy. It's not always fun. But sometimes after you keep doing the same thing and you're
You
tripping,
gotta do
tripping,
something
tripping,
different. Yep.
yes, pick up that brick and move it over. Like,
Yep.
do something different, go around it, find different
Yep.
solutions, being open to listening to different things that you can do to change
Ideas.
something, to fix
Yes.
it, different
Yeah.
ideas, different thoughts,
Yep.
different opinions. And it doesn't have to be the right one. It can be different ones, and we can work together to find a solution. But yeah, whatever's easy, whatever's less work, whatever is not going to ruffle the feathers, whatever is not going to
That's what
raise
a
up
lot
the
of people
dust,
gravitate to. Hmm.
they don't want it.
Yep. Okay. Unhealthy competition. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, definitely. But as a young Black African American female, me, I strive to be the best at what I do, and I try to learn and understand so I can know what I'm talking about and so I can present so I can excel. But people are watching. People
Oh,
that are not
yes.
happy about what you're doing are watching. So you still have to keep going, keep pushing, because you're not gonna not find somebody that's not gonna give you competition or hate on you, if you want to say that. So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's life. It's life, because there's always gonna be someone who has more class, more opportunities, more money, more whatever. And then you're going to have someone who doesn't have it. Now, the individual who doesn't have it, instead of them channeling that, competition or that need for having whatever it is that you have, instead of them trying to put that into improving and bettering themselves so they themselves can do it, they often, are jealous of other people, and then they show it and stuff. No,
right.
no matter how, they may try, it always comes out that, you're jealous or you're fearful that someone's gonna have more than you.
Mm.
No work-life balance. Oh my goodness. Now, I mentioned that the employer that I was at and stuff, because of the type of person that I was and stuff, it's like when I'm there, I just want to get my work done and stuff. And it seems like, I was into my work. And so there was a lot of times when it came time for me to go home, my husband would have to call me, or my kids would have to call me and be like, Mom, it's 4 o'clock. Mom, it's 4:30. When you leaving? My husband used to tell me, okay, around 4 o'clock, you need to start wrapping it up. Because if you don't start wrapping it up right now and you're taking on new tasks, then you'll never leave. And so it used to take me about 2 hours. So imagine, after 4:30, I'm still in that office. 5 o'clock, I'm still in that office and stuff, trying to drive 2 hours sometimes if there's
Oh yeah, you
traffic
did
and
have to
stuff.
drive 2 hours after that time. Because I was gonna say four
Exactly.
o'clock, 4:30. I'm still in the
Exactly.
office like at 6, 7. They're like, when you come, oh, I'm leaving now. I'm putting my books up. I'm
Yes.
putting my laptop back up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, the
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I thought, I was doing it because I needed to get the job done. But it seems like in that environment, it's like there was so much to do. And each time it's like, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to knock out as much as I can and stuff. And then tomorrow I'll have less. And then during the week, I can concentrate on other things. But it seemed like it was never ending. And I never thought of it as, because of the amount of work that I wasn't able to have any type of work life balance. By the time I got home, took off my clothes and stuff, if I even got a chance to eat, go shower and stuff to wake back up, because again, if it takes me about 2 hours or more to come home, it's the same thing in the morning. So it's like I
Right.
felt like I was never home and stuff. And, no matter what I did to try to decrease my workload, it never dissipated. It seemed like it was just adding and kept on adding.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Rumors and office politics. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I think it's everywhere though. It might be more some places, than others, but
Yeah.
fortunately, when you're dealing with
Yeah.
people,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Frequent closed door meetings. Now, when I had my closed door meetings was because I was doing, my job, employees coming to me trying to, address certain issues and stuff. And another thing that I found when I had these closed door meetings with employees, it's like I had to hurry up, or my supervisor wanted me to hurry up and report it to her. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with you. Like, it
right?
has nothing to do with the job and stuff. So if it has nothing to do with the job, why am I telling you somebody else's business? I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes that individual would be like, okay, I know you're gonna put your HR hat on. I know. And I'm like, okay, I should always have my HR hat on. I'm at work.
Yes,
And and
because
and
with go ahead.
the moment I actually put it down, what you gonna tell me? Oh, you're not professional, you're not this. So I always
They
err
waiting.
on the side. Go ahead.
Yep, waiting for it to slip off
Yep.
so they can
Yep.
catch
And
you.
that had never
Mhm.
slipped off. Never, ever, 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 ever. Because, I'm the type of person, I don't ever want anyone to scold me, to tell me, that I did something wrong. Now, if, I got a process wrong because I didn't know the process, hence, I'm coming in. So there's a lot of processes that you guys would do and stuff. And if I'm unfamiliar with it, then, I would have no choice but to do it wrong until I learn how to do it so I can do it better. But yeah,
Mhm.
no, there was some issues. Now it wasn't, I just
Well,
want to put it out there. It wasn't just that employer. Go ahead.
Well, with your situation, you were able to respect your employee, the staff, to be HR, to have the
Yes.
privacy with them. In my
Yes.
experience, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
My
Yeah.
HR, they shared almost the same office with the director, the person that was being a tyrant to everyone. And that was
Wow.
the horriblest thing ever. And now that whatever situation happened, people can breathe. They can be themselves. They're able to go to an HR where they can have a proper HR person to listen to anything they have to say without passing someone else, or saying, oh, this person's here. You guys are talking. Oh, I'm not disturbing you. Let me go back, scaring them off. No, you have to be inviting. You have to be private.
Yeah.
You have to be professional,
Hmm.
and not all places were like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have to show that you're trustworthy to, the employees, because
Yes.
it's already an issue where HR has this bad rep that, no matter what happens, we're gonna side with the employer. We're gonna
Yeah.
side with the manager. But at the same time, if the manager is wrong, the management team, they should be willing to understand or to hear HR, because HR is, I always see HR as a intermediate, a medium where employees come in, tell them their problems and then try to find solution. HR would advise them, give them solutions and stuff. And when it came to getting the work done, HR would then let them know, okay, well, you got to focus on what you need to do. What you're here to do is to work. So now, if you're unable to work for whatever reason, we need to
Right.
address the reason why you can't work. If it's because you don't know what you're doing, then we need to provide you training. And if it's because you have a issue, then we need to address the issue, figure out what you can do to improve yourself. And now, on the management side, if HR needs support and stuff, then HR can advise, or if management needs support, vice versa, HR can advise management on what they're seeing, because HR is the one that's hearing all these things from the
Mm-hmm.
employees. So now the management team should be willing to listen to HR and seeing what they can do to improve the situation, where if it was just employee to HR, not employee to management and stuff, the way they would deliver the message would not be appealing to the management team, which is why HR is always needed for them to kind of muffle down the noise,
Right.
muffle down the emotions, muffle down, all the negativity, and then deliver direct message on what needs to be done, what changes need to be applied and stuff to improve the organization and the organization themselves, if they want the employees to act or to work and stuff. They should definitely take into consideration what HR is saying, because HR is kind of speaking for the employees. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Absentee leadership.
Mm.
So if employees feel like they can't go to leadership because there are no leadership, there's just managers who are always telling them what to do and stuff, there's no respect for the leadership team and stuff, that in
Right.
itself can influence how toxic a workplace can be. So now
Definitely.
because of all these things, there are effects that can happen to an individual's mental and physical well-being and stuff, stress, anxiety, and feeling burned out. So managers that are out there listening to this live, and or leaders who are listening to this live, you should definitely take into consideration, if your employees are always calling out sick, or always having issues, or always trying to take time off, they're trying to regroup, they're trying to get the help that they need for them to be able to handle the task that you're providing them. So if the toxic level in the workplace is at a minimum, then there wouldn't be a lot of people calling out or a lot of people getting sick. So they should definitely take that into consideration. Do you have
Yeah.
anything for that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. That's very important because you need a healthy employee to perform their job properly and
Yeah, they do.
effectively, for you, to succeed, to get the job well done, so it goes hand in hand.
Yep. Okay, so now we spoke about what the effects are. So what can management do? What have you? I know there's a lot of things that you probably shared with the management team, and they always parked it or put it in the parking lot or whatever and stuff. So what can management do and stuff? Or were you able to ever share anything with the management team to help them improve the situation?
I did writing reviews, no, but
Well, you
you
know
could
what?
definitely write an
Sometimes.
email.
Yep.
That it did
Yep.
work.
Yep.
You can write emails. You can request meetings, calls, personal meetings, one on ones, small groups, even what you call it, a round table where people can
Mhm.
just say things and their ideas, how they're feeling, and nobody takes, it's in like judgment or take it personal, but then,
Mhm.
just take those things in to help them going forward. But yeah, definitely management
I
needs to
agree.
just listen. Huh? What you
I
say?
agree with what you said with writing reviews. Because you know what? Before, I used to do that in college as well. When I'm taking a course, I would go on, rate my professor and stuff. And there's different, platforms that offer, some type of review and stuff. So I would read the reviews. If it was school, if it was an employer, I would go in and research, put on Yelp, put
Hmm.
on Google and stuff, what's the work environment for this office, for this, for this setting. And if you're getting a lot of negative reviews for that, for that office, then yeah, I would definitely say stay away. Now, also, since we asked what can management do, management, I know you think your job, your office is the best in sliced bread and stuff, but you got to understand there's a lot of competition out there. And if you're
Hmm.
getting all these high turnovers, your people are getting sick, your people are, calling out frequently, you can possibly, check out some of these reviews, speak to HR, speak to your employees, like you mentioned, with the roundtables and stuff setting to find out what it is that people are complaining about. What is it that you
Right.
can do and stuff to correct, the toxic level that's at your work office. So I think
Mhm.
communication, tackle the
Right.
workplace toxicity, provide a safe place for employers to work, and work towards creating a healthier work environment. Again, if your employees are having problems at work, it's going to definitely hit your bottom line. And I know
Yes.
nobody wants to be in business where, they're in it just for fun or to not make money. I'm a small business, person. So now if I keep getting negative reviews and all these negative reviews are justified, then it's like, yo, I might as well not be in business anymore, because it's like I'm
It's
not,
not going to stop.
providing.
You're going to keep getting them, and
Yes.
they're going to be true after a while. One, two,
Yep.
yeah, depend on experience. People love to write reviews. They love to write
Yes.
negative reviews first before positive ones because people love to
Yes.
complain. But when you
Yep.
get that one or you get those reviews that are definitely negative, then there is a problem there. Let's take a
Yeah, you
deeper
have
look.
to assess, yeah, to
Hmm.
figure out what it is that these individuals are saying. Are there any truth to what they're saying, and what can you do to improve it? Now, we spoke
Yeah.
about what management can do, what HR can do, what I've tried to do as well, in all of the offices that I've worked. I've tried to acknowledge the problem and then assess where it came from. I would provide training and education. My person, I had to educate her and stuff. Establish open communication. I would let her know, hey, I'm here to work, you're here to work. So if it's not dealing with work, or if it's not dealing with, the type of work that you're doing because it's outside of your job description, then you need to go elsewhere and stuff, so I can concentrate on working, and you should concentrate on working too, because if you don't, then we're going to find a way to get somebody else to come in and replace you. We said open communication. We said promote leadership accountability. Now,
Yeah.
again, with that employer that I mentioned, when I used to talk to them and tell them, well, you know what, I understand that this individual is a problem, but what is it that we did? Because we had to have done something. And then I think further down the line, this individual, and I think it was a lot of personal stuff. The manager that went and told the other manager that, my door is always closed and stuff, that individual, the problem employee, said something about them, said, I guess, called them out on their BS. And this individual didn't like it. And I think this individual was petty. I hope she's watching. She was very petty. And so when it came time for me to address what the problem was, because that individual, I think they got written up. I eventually had to write them up and stuff. Well, help management write them up and stuff. That individual, the way that individual said, expressed what the problem was, I went and then I, you know, asked the individual that she was referring to and stuff. So is there something in this employee file, because I can't see it, because this employee is asking or is saying that they want a copy of their files or of things that was said about them. I'm like, is there something that I should know that's on this employee's file? And if there is, it shouldn't be anything that's personally trying to hit that individual. It should just be, something that, what was a problem, what did this individual do, and what we did to solve it. Anything that's personal and stuff, it shouldn't be on the file. And so, they said, no, there's nothing like that. So now, got my work done, found, some time and went through that individual's file. Oh my goodness. I was like, what the is going on? Like, how are we going to document this information and the way it was documented on this individual's file? And I was like, so I went and I, spoke to that individual. I was like, now I don't know how you guys handle certain things, but as far as HR, I cannot allow you guys to keep that file in that individual's record because of the way it's written. Now, if someone was to look out from the inside reading it and stuff, that individual will have all, that individual will take your office pretty much and
Right.
stuff. So I said, we would have to clean it up and stuff, or completely remove it, especially if it was something that was old and stuff. It's about time that we delete that file, because if it ever come back that this individual want to sue the company, they can't sue the company. And so when I told the that supervisor that, and she wasn't really our direct supervisor, she was just nosy. She was like, wait, hold up. What, actually she didn't talk like that. I don't really want to say how she spoke and stuff, because I don't want to sound like I'm biased myself. But this person, their ghetto-ness and stuff came out, and I didn't think that individual was gonna be ghetto or had any ghetto-ness to them. This individual was like, so what did she say about me? What did this say about me? And I'm like, I was like, okay, well, what do you mean? What did she say about you? Well, why you didn't tell me what she said? I'm like, hold up, what am I supposed to tell you? I've told you what the problem was and how we can solve the problem. But as far as what she said about you or how she said it, I can't share that with you. Oh, I see how it is. Please tell me. Please tell me how it is. Because now you had her as a problem. Me, because I know what I'm doing. Go ahead. You tell me what it is that you see that the problem is. Please. Because, if I can leave this place and own this place and not give, that individual a slice of whatever it is, ownership that she would have gotten if I don't help you. And so she was like, well, you're supposed to tell me everything that's going on. No, that's not my job.
Right.
My job is for me to tell you what the problem is and how we can solve it to protect the agency. And now, because it's a federal agency, to protect the agency, not necessarily this office, not your job, not what you feel, not what you think. So now this individual, because they're in their emotions, they're going to share whatever information they want the way that they want to do it. Now, me, on the other hand, I need to stay professional and address the issue. I'm not going to tell you what this individual said or how this individual, well, you need to forward me her email. I wish you would. And so, and I guess that's probably where that issue came up, where that individual said, that my door is always closed, because I didn't
Right.
side with them. I didn't side with her and tell her the drama behind, what the individual felt about them. I didn't care what the individual felt about you. And, to be honest, I think that individual, the problem employee, had, several legs to stand on, because you are a nasty person and stuff. So if I was able to tell my personal opinion and stuff, but so management definitely have to be able to listen to the problem and not take it personal. Don't take it personal. They're telling you, how your business is affecting them. So now, if your business is affecting the way a person work, which is ultimately going to affect your bottom line, that should be important to you. Not somebody telling you that, you're a nasty individual. Well, if you are a nasty individual, you're a nasty individual. So if you have a problem with somebody calling you nasty, fix it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I digress.
You got a
So
comment.
let's see. Huh? You got a comment?
Mm-hmm. Another one I would add is leadership promoting their staff or giving higher pay, is another red flag. Mm-hmm.
Yes, not giving. Yes, yes. Where leadership is not putting their people in
Yes.
for promotion. Yes, yes, or rewarding their employees and stuff. Yes, that's
For their hard
definitely a red
work,
flag.
Yeah. People
Yeah,
go
because
out there, they work hard, they want to
Mhm.
hear thank you, they want to hear good job, they
But
want
you
to
know what?
see, fruits of their labor. And
But you
that's
know
then
what?
sometimes compensation.
Yes, but I have to put my HR hat on and stuff. Whereas it's not something that management is required to do. But as far as paying you for the work that you've done, yes. So now, if there's any thank yous and any rewards, any accolades that they want to give you and stuff, their main focus is to pay you for the job that you've done. Now, it's always a nice to have where you're having your employer acknowledge what you've done. And because you've been doing your work and you've been adding value to the office, to the building, to the organization and
To
stuff.
the
Now,
company.
when it's time for, growing someone, in their career, then yes, that management team should take that into consideration and promote that individual. But as far as all the nice to haves and stuff, it's not necessary, but everyone likes to hear, good job, you've done this, you've done that,
Attaboy,
congratulations,
a
or
pat in the back.
yeah, yeah, or even
Mhm.
sometimes, because I know there were some people, at that same office who would fuss about the bonus that they got. For me, I was kind of indifferent with that because I didn't really care about the bonus as long as I was getting paid. Now, if every month that I'm working, every 2 weeks, whatever, I'm getting paid for the job that I did. Now, at the end of the year, because you saw I was such a great employee, and I did the job, I was never late, I was never this and stuff. Now, if you feel like, in the budget that you can cut me a little piece, because you're cutting everyone else a piece, then fine. But if it's not in the budget, and if your budget is so limited where you can only give your outstanding people, and then me, because I wasn't outstanding and I didn't get anything, then I shouldn't feel a certain way because I didn't get a bonus and stuff, because the bonus is not going to do anything for you. And plus the bonus, bonuses are usually taxed heavily. And by the time, if it's $1,000 bonus, by the time you get it, if you're getting $800 and stuff, it's like, to me, it's not worth it. So, but it's always nice to have, it's nice to get a bonus, especially if you're seeing people who are not performing are getting the bonus. And you're like, hold up, I've been doing all this. I've been coming in. I've been working so hard and I'm not getting a bonus. Then now my, my attitude towards the bonus will change because, oh, so there's no there's no performance level that needs to be and stuff that a person needs to have for them to get a bonus. You're just giving bonuses to whom you like and stuff. And so, yeah, that can be a problem that can, influence how a person perceives a workplace. Okay,
Okay.
so what can HR do? HR can acknowledge a problem, assess where the problem originated, provide training and education, establish open communication, promote leadership accountability, address conflict promptly. I know, oh my goodness, I used to always have that with my leadership team, where if someone was a problem, they would be, it seems like that's when they were the busiest. And they're not the busiest because they were addressing the problem. They were busiest avoiding the problem. And and I would tell them, okay, you have to look at all your other employees. So now if all your other employees are seeing that one individual acting a certain way and you're not addressing it, you're not correcting it, what's going to be something that's going to keep them from starting to act like that individual? Because there's no punishment, there's no corrective action that's being taken place. So managers, if you're out there, soon as you see a problem, you need to address it. Don't try to wait, because waiting is gonna have other people looking and saying, oh, okay, this can get away with this. So guess what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna try to get away with it. Now, if now you're trying to correct me and you didn't correct that individual, then that's where HR comes in, where it's like, okay, you have to be fair across the board. You have to make sure, for rewards and punishment, you have to be fair. Provide support services, celebrate positive behavior. We spoke about that. Measure and track progress. So the individual, that we had the issue with, now when that individual improved and tried to do what they had to do because they saw HR was not playing games with them and stuff, when it came time for them to get rid of that individual, oh my goodness, that same manager, that said I closed my door and stuff because, she was mad that I didn't tell her what the bad employee said. She was ready to get her out the office. She was like, yeah, no. We had to communicate with the the top of the employee labor relations group. And so they asked me, HR, so do you think that individual is able to fix that behavior? Can that individual stay in the office? Can that individual perform and stuff after we give them that corrective action? So this manager, she said, no, she can't. I don't want her here. I don't want her here. I was like, well, guess what? Think she can improve. It seems like you guys never addressed the problem with her, and then you guys never, addressed it in a way for her to understand what she did wrong. And because of what she did wrong, this is what's going to happen. So now, if after you guys did what y'all needed to do, then and she didn't perform or she didn't change her behavior after she dealt with me, she was a perfect person and stuff. And so she was mad at me because I told them on the management team, the HR, the employee labor relations team, that no, I think this person can improve. She was mad. She was like, wait, hold up, you were the same person gunning for her. I was like, no, I was not gunning for her. I was gunning for the behavior, and I wanted that behavior to be corrected. So now that she saw that we are not playing games with her in this office, and that if she continues this behavior, that she will be out the office and stuff. But since then, she knows what the rules are. We've established the rules. She's been performing while we kicking out, a hard worker, while we kicking out someone who's a high performer. And so she got upset with that. And then she was like, oh, I don't understand you. I was like, well, it's not for you to understand. So as long as I'm doing my job, she's doing her job, let's keep it at that. And so when I told, the higher employee relations team that no, I think she can be a model employee, they was like, okay, well, you're HR. I'll listen to you. Oh, that person was tight. She was tight because she's always getting her way and stuff. And then me coming out from wherever I am, and because I didn't tell her and I didn't play her game and stuff, she didn't like me even more. But guess what? I didn't care. I didn't come there for me to, have friends, to make friends, or to have people like me. As long as I'm getting paid, I'm good. Seek external assistance. So this is what we did with that individual. We sought external assistance, and external assistance, told us what we needed to do, told us that the steps that we were taking were valid, were correct, and that we were protected in the steps that we were taking. I was good. Of course they weren't, because they wanted her out. And guess what? I left before that individual, and now they didn't have a strong HR person. So I'm pretty sure that individual probably turned back, because she saw that HR wasn't there to walk her, to make sure that she, continued in the right steps and stuff. And because they didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't have enough proper documentation. Remember, I told you they had personal documentation on her, not proper documentation. So no matter what they were to try to do, they wouldn't be able to get her out because of what was already in the records. So management team, make sure you guys are not, addressing employees' problem on a personal level, because once you start doing that on a personal level, you're no longer protected. You need to make sure that it's always professional. You have anything?
No.
Okay. So what can employees do? Okay, employees, now we're going to talk to y'all now. You have to build supportive relationships. You have to set boundaries. Now, I set boundaries with that individual. Yes, I was HR, but at the same time, I was still an employee. So I set my boundaries, let her know what I will accept and what I won't accept. So same thing, goes with in any office that an employee can do, especially when they're experiencing or dealing with someone who is a bully at the office. Foster open communication, address the conflict, and acknowledge the role that you played. Now, I knew, that I didn't do anything wrong and stuff, and I was doing everything according to standard or according to the law. I was good. Make changes to reduce or eliminate future conflicts. Know when to seek help. Document incidents. Now, I don't know if you got sorry. Do you know the number one rule as an employee?
Not documenting.
Yes. How we say it, CYA, cover your tush, cover your ass. Because if you don't cover your tush, people can definitely take you down. And then sometimes I know people would think, okay, well, you know what, this is too minor a situation for me to document. Like, I don't have time for me to you better make time. Because if you don't make time to document these different situations, my son, he's listening. Well, you're 16, so I'm sure you guys said other, harsher words. But yeah, so if you don't make time to document, the situation and stuff, then when it's time for you to report, or when it's time for you to complain to HR or to someone that's going to help you, what you're going to use? You can't use your memory, because there's going to be so much that happened that you're going to forget certain things, and you're going to forget certain important information. So definitely you need to document. Put everything. If you know you're dealing with an employee that is toxic, and you don't want to communicate with them, because I know we mentioned communicate. It's a communication. If you don't want to communicate with them, or you don't think you can communicate with them, or if they get under your skin and you're going to say some things to them, say some words to them, have them put it in an email. Now, you already know, when you ask somebody to put something in an email, we always got to make sure that we clear it up. We write it, to where it's supposed to be read. If it was read by someone else, that it wouldn't appear that we're in the wrong. So if you're having issues, make sure you ask someone, if they're going to communicate with you, to send it to you via email. I even had to do that with the management team and stuff, have them send me stuff on email, because I wanted to make sure that I'm checking every single thing off the block. Now, sometimes they would say, oh, you want everything on email? I'm like, no, I didn't always want everything on email, but right now I want to make sure, since, we're saying certain things is going on and stuff, I want to make sure I'm documenting stuff. So if it's on my part that I'm doing something wrong, that I know how to address it, because I can go back in the email and fix it. Say whatever you got to say, to justify you documenting the emails from your employer or even the employee that's, giving you problems. So if you need help, you can provide it to HR or whomever and stuff, so they can mediate the situation. Make changes to reduce or eliminate future conflicts. That's why I did my sign. I put my sign on there. So now you can't come and tell me, well, we came by your office, we didn't know where you were. So now, but then, when they did see the sign, I said, okay, well, I'm pretty sure nobody gonna say they didn't know where I was. So now, if you want me next time to write that I'm in, I had to go to the bathroom because I need to take a poop, or I needed to go to, grab something to eat, or I went to the microwave to, to thing my food, or I went to this individual employee to go speak to them about a problem that they're having with management. Sure, I can put that on the sign, but I'm sure you guys don't want me to get petty. And of course, they didn't. So, sometimes you got to help people understand some of the things that they're asking for. It's not really what they want. Know when to seek help. We said document incidents, seek professional development, encourage social activities, prioritize self-care. Yes. Take time off. If you need to take time off so you can deal with, the problems at work, whatever you need to do, definitely do it. Network outside the organization. Sometimes offices throw office parties and stuff, and those things, they be killing me sometimes, because it's like you'll have different groups of people and stuff like gathered together. It's like a little clique and stuff. Like, what's the point of having an office party if people are not mingling, and if you're not mingling with people and stuff, and everybody is cliquish? It defeats no purpose and stuff. Yeah. So if you're going to have an office party, play games, create different things to get people involved and stuff, and put yourself out there. Play some of those games so the people can feel like, you're not forcing them to play a game. But if they see you're playing and they see you're laughing, they see you got your, you let your hair down and stuff, they'll be more willing to participate in those activities. Okay. So you have anything? Okay, so let's address what would happen if there are no changes in the work environment. What did you do?
That's what I
Girl,
did.
yes. Girl,
I
yes.
took some
Yep.
break, a much needed one.
Yep. 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 And now you're having fun. Now look. Now you can sip your water with ease. Now, guess what? I'm sure they still have the same problems that they did when you were there, and because they didn't take your advice and stuff, they're probably going to continue to have more problems and stuff, or if not worse problems.
Right.
Their office might eventually close, especially if the way they doing things. Okay, so some of the things that would happen, same things mentioned as the toxic, when we identify what were toxic behaviors and stuff. Imagine a new employee coming in and seeing some of these triggers. Soon as they came in, they're out the door. So that means you can't even keep your people because you're having
Mm-hmm.
high turnovers.
Right.
Good, hardworking employees will leave, which is what you did, which is what I did. Even though that drive was, adding, like, man, the mileage on my car exceeded, and it seems like every two to 3 days I was putting gas in my car and stuff. So, and because I saw the way the situation was, I was like, no, could have, found daycare over where I was and stuff. But I was like, nah, I can't do it. I'm not wasting money, wasting time, wasting energy for somebody to be petty because, an employee is telling you about your behavior, but instead of you taking it in a professional light and stuff, making changes, you want to take it personal. Employees will find other jobs and possibly work for your competitors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's
Because
true.
that's always a biggie. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I agreed.
Yep.
I
Yep.
agree.
And you know what? And I'm the type of person that probably would do something like that, but I know a lot of employers now, what they do, they put a non-compete disclosure and stuff
Yes.
where you can't. Yeah. Wasn't that your situation?
I did have that situation before as well too. Yes.
Wow.
Non-compete.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, if you work, if you're working for somewhere that has a non-compete clause, I don't know. That to me, that should be a warning sign. That should definitely be a warning sign, because it's like they want you to stay here and stuff, and for you to stay there forever. And no matter
Right.
what they do, no matter what they say, you can't go elsewhere. And because you've been doing your job
In that
so
same
perfectly,
field. Yeah.
yes, in that field, that you can't go and find another career and stuff where you can continue to progress. And then because you're a person that like to get your job done, that do your job well and stuff, of course those clients that you gain relationship with and stuff, that's who you gonna bring and stuff. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we got a space over here,
Right.
and a lot of times I find that the clients are still calling you because you build that personal relationship. Like, Sarat, do you have a space at this location? Do you have a space at this location? So I would definitely stay away from non-compete clauses. That should definitely be a trigger for me. Customers can sense when an organization doesn't treat their employees right. Oh my goodness. Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Yes.
Yep.
They used
Yep.
to come in all the time, family members, and they say, "Wow, you guys, how do they treat you guys? How can you guys take this? Like, look, I feel sorry for you. Here's some donuts. Whatever they can say, to make your day better." But
Wow. That's
mhm.
crazy. So if your customers are seeing how you're treating your employees, I mean, especially if your customers have options, I'm pretty sure they're not going to want to do business with you.
Right.
Yeah, so you got to treat your employees right. You got to treat your family right, because a lot of employers, they would say, well, when you're with us, you're like family. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to be part of that family because that family is
Right.
toxic. Ain't nobody got time for the BS that you putting out and stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, business reputation will decline. So yes, like you said, the reviews, because you'll have people that are putting reviews out there, and then by the customers seeing how you treating your employees, they'll probably want to go elsewhere where the employees are happy, because a happy employee and stuff that's who you want to deal with. Because I don't want to, if I'm a customer, I'm not going to go somewhere where people always got their face scrunched up and stuff. And when I come in the office, it's like, what do you want?
Right.
Ooh, okay.
Can we help
Oh,
you?
exactly. Like, oh, okay. Well, no, you can't help me. Because if you're already
Right.
having an attitude, if you're already so negative, I don't want to do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no. Um, Trust in the organization would dissipate. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, again with that office, that was probably one of the top offices that I worked for. But once I left, I was like, oh my goodness. And you know what? Before I left, the supervisor, my immediate supervisor, you know how they always trying to do the exit interview reviews and stuff. Because when other people left the office, I created an exit interview to ask them, okay, what is it that we can change, what is it that we could do to improve and stuff, to keep you here, or to, if, because I know, personal situations occur, and if you were to, want to come back, what it is that you would want to see different if you were to try to come back, because we love working with you, we love this, we love that. And so when I left, the supervisor asked me, so what do you think we can do to improve? Trying to use my words, because that's what that's some of the things that I put, on that exit interview checklist. I said, I can't think of anything right now. I'm not trying to help you no more.
Right.
Like, what am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell you anything that you need to improve when I was there, I was telling you everything that you needed to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I'm leaving, now you want me to help you? I was like, I can't think of anything, but thank you. She was like, because she knows I'm always so helpful. Man, please. I couldn't wait. I was like, I can't think of anything. So if you're gonna ask me that question after I'm leaving, and all this time I've been telling you stuff, you didn't say, well, you I understand. Remember when you spoke about this? We try to do this, we try to do that. How do you think we're doing something? But no, I was like, oh, yeah, I can't think of anything right now. And then I left. So I'm pretty sure the next HR behind me, because they probably gonna be different from me and stuff. Because when I got there and throughout the whole time, oh, you're such a breath of fresh air.
Yes. Yes.
If I'm a breath of fresh air, why are you treating
Yes.
breath of fresh air the way you do? So how do you treat? Well, I can
I
see
got
how you treat people.
complimented out the wazoo. I was the best. They were so happy to have me. The other
Yeah,
one, oh my gosh. Thank you for being here. We love you here. We're excited to have you. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah, yeah. They sometimes they be two faced. Like you would think
Sometimes.
that this individual, huh?
Sometimes.
So
They
yes,
are.
yes. Yes, be two-faced too much, because it's like, what? Now you're telling me, I was a breath of fresh air. Like, you're gonna continue with that conversation? If I was a breath of fresh air, why you didn't try to do what you needed to do, especially if you saw that I was helping and
Right.
stuff. So, some, and you know what? Sometimes upper management or senior leadership, especially if they're good, they don't know the problems that are going on the bottom, because you have these gatekeeper managers and stuff
Yes.
that already shotting stuff down. So it's like,
Mhm.
soon as I told them something was going on, they never brought it up. Now I understand there are certain things that you shouldn't be bringing up, because you can't be bothering them with every single thing. But if HR is addressing something or is telling you something about something that's going on, you should take heed to what HR is saying and try to, bring it up. And then, oftentimes they wouldn't ask HR. So what do you think is going on? So what can we do? They never ask me anything. Now, if you don't ask me, I can't tell you and stuff. But they always used to, let their gatekeepers manage the problem before it gets to them. But sometimes, the way the gatekeepers are managing the problem can bust that door down. Next thing you know, they're left, trying to figure out, wait a minute, how I ain't got a door? Why I got to do it to my offices and stuff? So definitely managers, pay attention to what's going on in your office, pay attention to your employees, speak to your employees, learn what's going on, and then ask your leadership team, your leadership, that's in charge of these employees, what it is that you're seeing, what is it that's going on, so you can know how to improve and to see what you can do to make sure you're not affecting your bottom line. Because I already know a lot of managers or business owners, top leadership, all they care about is making sure that their bottom line is not being affected. So if you don't take care of that, your bottom line will definitely be affected. And lastly, dissatisfied employees can turn into small business owners. So that's all I
Yes.
have for you guys. So thank you
Thank
everyone
you.
for
That was
stopping
awesome,
by.
Debbie.
I hope you guys saw the warning signs, know what you need to do what you need to do, and management, because this is this is your business, this is what you're in charge of. Take heed to some of these to these things and see what you can do to resolve the situation, because again, you would definitely have people running out your office, and you won't be able to keep good employees because you're not taking care of the problem.
Right.
Okay, so that's all I have. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.